Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to RAMP Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. I'm telling you, we have a real good show lined up for you tonight. It's going to be awesome. We say, always pray when you're going out, pray when you're coming in, and also remember, God is in control every day, every night, always. Always pray, ladies and gentlemen. And do remember that you can donate to Naram Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show, to keep this family friendly show alive. You know, whatever it is, donate. It's a beautiful thing. It comes to you free. Look down below and you'll see how you can donate to the show. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a packed show lined up for you tonight. Goodness gracious me. It's going to be awesome. It's PIP Mondays, ladies and gentlemen, where we prioritize, inform, and promote. Life is getting serious. The reality of this life is you got to be in the know. You got to be aware of what's going on around you and what will affect you and the unseen, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we have a brother. He's backstage. For many years, he's been studying and also gathering information. And tonight he's going to take you into his world. He's going to give you some information that you need to know. It's going to be a series, ladies and gentlemen. So like, share, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell. Share the live. Keep this family-friendly show alive. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to PIP Mondays. And in true Naram fashion, we always say we're going to give you inspiration rather than jokes. So our first inspiration for tonight goes like this. Here we go. We're going to put that on our stage so that you can see what's going on here. So here we go. Let's get it up there, and there it is. Let's start it. Your first inspiration for the night, ladies and gentlemen.
Be like water. Adapt and overcome. Water doesn't fight obstacles. It flows around them. When it meets a rock, it doesn't stop. It finds a way forward. Over time, it even carves through the hardest stone. Life will throw challenges your way, but instead of resisting, learn to adapt. Keep moving, keep evolving, and let nothing stop your progress.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Let nothing stop your progress. Life is not easy, but you got to adapt and keep it moving forward, because no matter how hard you try, you will always come up against obstacles. So let me give you the second and final inspiration for the night and until our next show. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This one is quite short, and we're going to put that on the stage. So let's go.
To get anything of value, you have to sacrifice. To get anything of value, you have to sacrifice. Do you know that the harder thing to do and the right thing to do? To get anything of value, you have to sacrifice. Do you know that the harder thing to do and the right thing to do are usually to get anything?
So the hardest thing to do is always the right thing to do. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to PIP Mondays. We say greetings to all my children, grandchildren, family, and all my friends out there. Welcome. Say a word for my daughter Elizabeth as she is still in the hospital, and we're still praying for her and for a speedy recovery. And the main let's the main topic of tonight is with Mr. Vivian Jones, and it's his first time on the show. So we're not going to wait any longer. He's a busy man, so let's bring him on the show. Mr. Vivian Jones, how you doing? Or Mr. Vivian Thomas, not Mr. Vivian Jones. My corrections, brother.
That's all
Welcome,
right.
welcome.
Good night, everybody. How is everybody? How is everybody? How is everybody? It's PIP Mondays, isn't it?
It is, and you're here to tell us all about you. So introduce yourself to my audience.
All right. First things first, my name is Vivian Thomas. But before I go anywhere, let me lead off by saying a word of prayers to your daughter. And you know what? Allow God to be God. So let's start there. So first, we give thanks for life, give a word of prayer out, and my appreciation for being a part of tonight's program and for the future. Everybody, welcome aboard. Happy to meet you guys. Let's get right into it. All right, so my name is Vivian Thomas, but a lot of people have associated me with brands I've been associated with. I've either built or curated over the last 30 years in entertainment and intellectual property. I've been blessed to have a upbringing that is from the arts. And I was also blessed to have parents who supported me in the field of the arts, whether it's from music school to art school. You know, when you were a teen and airbrushing and all that, I went through t-shirts. So I will always show gratitude to them who also supported what my endeavors. Now to dive into it, after leaving college, I went straight into
Kind of step back
engineering.
there for a little bit, Mr. Vivian.
Okay.
Where were you born? Where did you start going to school? And tell me about your siblings, your parents, and so on.
All right.
Those early life.
All right. So on a synopsis side, I'm a Kingstonian by birth. I was born at the University of the West Indies Hospital. Um, my father is from humble but proud beginnings. He is one of 11 siblings, and this is what is interesting in Jamaican culture. Of all the 11 siblings, 9 had to go to school and basically college. I have 4 teachers as aunts, principals,
Wow.
dentists, and yeah, so a chain of civil servant workers on my father's end. So growing up, I understood what it took to get to the next part. And on my mother's end, she didn't really grow with her siblings, to be fair to her, but her father taught her well, and he was also a former engineer from D&G. So I want to be fair to my parents' upbringing that they were also brought up within a household that allowed me then to press forward because we have to give thanks on the shoulders we've stood on through the years, you know. So
Absolutely.
that's important to me. Born in the 70s, in the heart of election, I ain't afraid to give out my age, 1976. I was born literally in the summer of the election. So rumor has it that there had to be parting roads to get me home because I don't know all the details of 76 election, but from what I've heard, it wasn't really one to be lingering around on the corner.
Right.
So born in that era, but weirdly enough, there was so much appreciation as birth, just being born in that era. I was fortunate to hear so many great talents, stand on the back of sound systems growing up, hearing so many different elements of the culture. Um, I I'd like to also thank God because for somewhere there I was just an advanced student, so I was rapidly going through the grades.
So where did you start your early school years?
My early school years, well, basically Catholic. St. Mary Basic School in Kingston. Back then in 70s, every Catholic thing was like a go-to thing. And then I went to Duane Park Primary, which ironically was where I actually, because I started music at the age of 6. My mother enrolled me in Royal School of Music at the age of 6, and
Congratulations. Well
if I
done.
give you that story, that's a whole different. That's a whole novel to itself. For all those who didn't know, let me go off on a tangent. Jamaica got color television in 1984. In
Absolutely. Mm.
in 1981, 82, I was blessed to be watching TV as a young boy. 81, I guess. Yeah, I was about 5, going on to 5. There was this famous musician by the name of Liberace, and he was playing. And it was everything about him, the set, the grand piano, the set revolving. I remember, like, it's a vivid part of my memory up till this very day. The set revolving, and I said to my mother, "Hey, whatever he's doing, I want that. I want
Wow.
that." And she was like all the things, the cartoons, the books, that. And I was like, "Yeah, that." I was like, "All right then." And she, well, my mother knew music via church and such forth. And to be fair to her, she was a music lover. She brought me to a couple of music teachers, so I started to get the hang of it. And
Uh-huh.
again,
So
being
what church was this? You started out with?
um Sabbath church, because my parents are, well, my father's side was a Sunday church, and my mother's side is Sabbath keeper. And as a boy
Was
child,
this the 70 Adventist in Trenchtown, or was
actually no, it wasn't an Adventist. It's a 7-day Church of God, where they more, especially within that era, they had more leaned towards similar tendencies to Judaism. And my grandfather, which passed away very young, when I was very young, he's actually, from from what I've heard from picking up the pieces of history, because he's not all the way black, and he's from Jamaica is like a boiling pot, as we know. And
out of many one people?
there we go. So when people speak of Syrian Jews, this, that,
Mhm.
that, I had
Oh yeah.
until I do all of the necessary lineage run, I know somewhere there we fall, somewhere there and somewhere there. But again, black to the core. the
So
the catch is,
you started out at a Catholic school. What
I
was the name
started
of
out
it?
at Catholic school. Um, went to piano lessons during primary school age.
But what was the
Um,
name of that Catholic school?
First we started at St. Mary's Basic School. It's still in existence now. I'm not sure if the school part's still in existence, but the church certainly is. It's by Mullines Road and Washington Boulevard, that big monument. Back in the days, it
Oh
wasn't
yes.
all that big, but then it was that. And yeah, you know how them things go in Jamaica at
Oh yeah.
that window in time. And
Absolutely.
parents insisting that you're going to go to this school, you're going to do well, you're going. It's more like, I wouldn't say, my mother is very autocratic.
In that era, yeah, our
Yeah,
parents were
it's like,
very autocratic.
you're
Yeah.
right. You go, I like. They go, no, you don't like. I like. So you go, you're
Yeah.
right. So
Absolutely. You're gonna be a doctor. You're gonna be a doctor.
yeah, one of them ones, and just to be fair to parents, because I wouldn't have spoken a certain way until I became a parent myself. I get it. I get it.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's right.
You're going to be the lawyer, the doctor. You're going to break the family curse, or this whole lineage of black people under oppression. you're going to be the one, and we're going to make sure that we cocoon you to be this and all. I get it. And as a parent, I really, really get it, because I
Yeah,
think mine
that's
get
right.
away with murder even
Yeah.
more than what I used to get away. Well, no, she gets away with murder in comparison to what I.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
so I
We
definitely get it.
we had to
But
walk the chalk line, so to speak.
yeah,
So that was the era that we all grew up in. But you started the basic school in the Catholic kind of surroundings. Then you got involved with the music. You said,
yep. I
so
was involved in music from the
walk me
age of
through from
6.
wonderful. Walk me through from there, from 6 years old. What was it like in your time in with the economics? Was it hard for you and your parents?
You know
You had
what? This is what's very, very interesting. I'm going to go public with this statement, because this isn't something I normally go public with. My mother was a very young mother when she had me. She was under 20 years old. Um, at that time, my mother decided, like, nah, there will be no more children. This is it. Um, I wouldn't exactly say they were college sweethearts, but it's roughly that era where he's doing his thing and she's trying to, and so they're both between school and apprenticeship and trying to figure it out. So, and she decided, nah, you're going to be it, and that is it.
Mhm.
So I was, I had, I had a hell of a childhood. Pardon my French. I'd
Mhm.
be, I'd be offended to think anything less. So if music entered my life at the age of 5 and my mother enrolled me in music school at the age of 6, I am thanking her now 40 something years later still. So on the age of 6, between 6 to 10, I was in music lessons, Royal School of Music, Ring Ding Child, doing karate, doing sign language. I was doing just about every
So
known.
she went above and beyond to make sure
She did it,
that. Oh yes,
did it,
wonderful. Oh yes.
did it. I was, and without sounding anywhere near arrogant, as I said, I'm giving praises to the people who invested and poured into me. By the time I was 10, I would consider myself a cultured 10-year-old.
Wonderful.
And again, here we go with Catholic schools again. So now I'm off to Campion at the age of 10.
All right.
So,
A lot of people will be waving that flag, say yes, champion.
yeah, well, this is where it gets scarier. I'm also a government scholarship student. That 1987, they took it back because of the cheating scandal. So I was
Right.
one of the 7 students that received a government scholarship that year that was refuted. So
Mhm.
the country went through that whole cheating scandal with the teachers and
Right. I
went
remember.
berserk. And they took our scholarships back. It's so ironic I had to resit that exam.
Mhm.
Still got the scholarship anyway. It's just weird. But between 6 to 10, I was exposed to a lot of music, a lot of music, learning piano lessons, being around the cello, being around so many instruments that kids my age didn't ever even.
Dream off, at that time.
By the
Yeah.
time I was 10, I could tell you the difference between a cello and a standing bass guitar.
That's
Most
a
people still
beautiful
can't even
thing.
tell you that now, and they play music.
Oh yeah.
So I was, yeah.
Mhm.
So musically, I'm there, all in, all in. Um,
So
I took on to
you're
sports.
now a champion. You're versed in your mind is set to the music. Walk me through from champion moving up with the music and your
All right.
extracurricular activities,
So,
you know,
so
coming into the teenage to adult years.
between first form to third form, I had it rough. My first 2 years musically, I was good. finding who I was, rocky road. Um, if I could, again, if I could reevaluate and probably psychoanalyze, then what do you tell a highly intelligent 10-year-old that's already started to see the world playing instruments? Oh, he so happened to be a talented football. So I'm a mommy's boy. My uncles are protectors, and what do I know about dealing with Andrew and Kevin Siaga in my class? What the hell? So
You,
this world now started to go, whoa. It I it was different being around the literal 1 and 2% of Jamaica and probably the Caribbean, where the elitists of the elitists, let's just call it a spade a spade.
mhm.
I was around a bunch of elitists that some of us we shared zero in common. I had a love for music, some didn't. I was dealing with politicians' kids, ambassadors' childrens, and it,
Is there any names that stand out to you that were in your circle at that time?
I don't want to really give away too many names, but I could throw this out there for most people who don't know this. Colonel Charles Jr., now your minister, was once a original member of TOK. TOK was started at Campion.
All right.
Bambino is a Campionite. ZJ Ice is a Campionite. Owner of Main Events, Jamaica Limit, is a Campionite. We have a rich history now of people who are prominent stakeholders in entertainment. And
Wonderful.
then I knew, and I was around a lot of them, but nobody knew we were going to be this.
Right.
Some were older than me when I got there. Like, as I said, Steve and them that own main events and all them. When I got there, Kimani and them was already there, and I shared a lot in common. And Kimani is the founder and starter of RETV Jamaica, oh, our first. So we had a lot of people that were seeing the future, but because of the, I guess, the stigma, the school itself, and let's just be real, the parents, our parents, and the environment we were in, music wasn't really like, hey, entertainment is a great sector. Go check it out. We didn't have that. But I also want to not say, my mother always said, oh, and if you're doing well enough, you can go play in a jazz band on the weekend and get more. So she never really, it was always like a backup plan. Like, you want some
So
extra money?
hold it there, brother Vivian. This is Vivian Thomas on live on Naram Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. And we want you to like, share, subscribe, comment, click that notification bell, and share this live. This is only the beginning. So you want to share the live because there's a lot more great information to come. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you heard, the early days with Mr. Vivian Jones in Kingston City, Jamaica, was very interesting. And you want to go back and look at it, and you can fast forward to where we are now. So, Mr. Vivian Thomas, continue.
Yeah, so high school was finding my footing, and I realized that I like extracurricular activities. The same thing and don't get me wrong, we all came up with grades, but what I meant was starting to know, what do you really like? And the beauty of this is where doing the campaign thing sounds sometimes a 1% thing, but this is where I'm going to be safe and say no. I've seen the world. I was walking through the Bacardi wine industries when I was 10 and a half, 11 years old. I've done all of that. So I was exposed
Wonderful.
to, okay, and that was in the 80s. So Bacardi is famous now, but we know its lineage. We've experienced all of that. So yes, we've been to the Puerto Ricos, we've been to so many parts of the world together. That when I realized that, hold up, they're actually industries. This is where it now becomes fundamental. And this, I'm going to give away $1 million a game right now. I was 11 years old when I was told how to get rich in entertainment. And I'm going to expose some people right now. I was in second form. I'm an art buff. One day, and I'm going to call her name when all is said and done, because that lady deserves a lot of praise. One day, a teacher, our teacher says, hey, to a bunch of 10 and 11-year-olds, do you like Kool-Aid? Put your hands up. Come on, now, you can't ask a 10-year-old if you like Kool-Aid. Every 10-year-old put their hand up. Then she goes, you like Quenchade? Every 10-year-old puts their hand up again. Then she goes, good. Do you like, what does it look like? And everybody starts talking about, look at clown on the front and the pretty stuff. Say, good. I designed it and I get 0.000.5 off each packet. I don't want my royalties in lump sum. I want my royalties in every third quarter. This was my art teacher in 1988 telling me, oh, she owned the packet that Quenchade comes in. She's white, yes, and her name is Miss Green. She taught me
Awesome.
publishing at 11 years old. So when I entered entertainment and half of these artists and these people were baffling as to how, I was looking at them like, what school did you go to? Like, everybody knew that. No, that's the catch. That's where now it comes off sounding arrogant and pompous, going to my art teachers relaying information to me that the reason she's teaching me is because she is passionate about art, not because she's in need of money. She already made the money. I just love
Right.
what I do. And this is what love looks like. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. My world changed. That's what changed my whole world. I was like, I need to know that. So when she broke that game down, I was like, this lady told me she's making money off of the pack, not the flavor. What the what? She had us speaking for 5 years. And that's why I tell people it's important to have good mentors. It's important to be around people who understand and for this era overstand. Because a lot of you are doing a lot of things, but your route is incorrect because your principles are incorrect because what you're not doing is what you should be doing. And that's what brought this whole brand of Pusher Youth about. I came to educate intellectual property while producing what. So I got
So before we get into Pusha Youth, because we're kind of going ahead of ourselves. So,
it's,
you're at Campion, and you learn from your art teacher about now business,
yeah,
how to work, to be smart
how
rather than
publishing royalties, all of
the
that intellectual property money, how it was broken down. Because then nobody had any clue as to how records made money, how everybody thought you painted something, you sold, you pick, you walk away. This is
I
just
remember
basic.
back in those days, these you're talking 80s.
Talk in the 80s. So
So
when
you're
this,
talking 80s when um, a lot of our own people gave away their art,
and
their
I'm
work.
talking about, to be exact, I'm talking about 1988. This woman is telling me, like, hey, I make more money than your favorite artist on the radio. And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
how?
So that changed your direction, your thought process. So
It
this was the beginning. So walk me through from there. Um, going through Campion, that was one of the highlights of being at Campion College. And you then move on to where? What did you do? Because now your trajectory has changed, your direction has changed, your thought process has changed. So where do you go
oh,
from
I
there?
started consuming music like I was already a music head, and I also want to be openly fair. My mother has some brothers where I went everywhere. Like I was a spoiled kid for going out. So I'm not going to pretend. I was
So tell me about, because a lot of my audience will say, hear you say, I go everywhere, but we're talking back in the
I'm
late
talking about back
80s.
in the days. Like
Yeah. So name a few places that were
all right,
icon places that
if you
during those
want
times.
if I want to go there, I went to the Sting on my uncle's shoulder where Ninja Man and Super Cat was, where that bottle was thrown. I was present. I was present at the stage show when Beanie Man versus Risto Benji Waterhouse 1987. I was present. I was present with Shabarang sitting on my uncle and them wall at Waterhouse beside Balma G Primary talking. I was present. I've been blessed to be around some of the. I was present that my grandmother grew culture Paul, aka
Hmm.
Paul to me. But that's what I'm saying. I'm present. I'm present to go to a campaign when TOK was early. I'm present when Richie Poo from Silver Arc live at 2 Lorraine Avenue and I live at the end of the road. I am present. So I've been so blessed to be engulfed with music and entertainment that at this age, even now my mother will have a laugh about this in New York where she lives, like, this wasn't the plan, but it was hard for us to not see it. It's bro, I got I went out on a school night and got my I went to school looking 3 colors, mate, and went to school proud going, hey, look, I got the badge to show. What?
Hmm.
The only reason why my jaw still intact was my father told me that you did what I expected you to do it. That's and I couldn't quite get that either until I became a parent. It's like as if you didn't do it, I would have gone, are you okay? But
Hmm.
as a boy child, he was like, oh, I expected you to do that, dumb. Mm, yeah, I ain't about to knock you out because your mom knocked you blue. Yeah, I just used to wear them like badge of honors. I wasn't the only one. I had a crew of us that wore it like a badge of honor. I was like us telling the girls at school, like, hey, we were there. Can't you
Right.
tell? See the black eye? Uh, yeah.
Oh yes.
Uh,
So
you
some of those,
remember Skate Land at Alpha Tree?
absolutely.
I
Yeah.
was there when I'm not supposed to be.
So give me an experience of Skateland. Where what kind of parties? You got some famous parties there.
Bro, there was so
Dance
many
hall.
adult parties that I snuck out and went to that it was all right. Now here's a laugh for you. I don't even want to use skate land. I want to give you a full left wing laugh. So my family is from Walton Park roadside. I don't care whether you stretch it from Agley Park Road all the way to Chinese Cemetery. I
Hmm.
can walk probably every road. And that's the next thing. Them look too much like me too. So I didn't even used to talk to females around there because I used to have to check, yo, what bloodline are you? Who's your cousin? Who's your mom? Who's your so, so that was the next thing. So
Hmm.
I when I caught the fever, I used to use my cousins get my mother to, I just want to spend some time with the family. I was like, you, family. But I was the only child. So it was like me leaning into her, like, yeah, I can't do this, I need others. I need at least a family, at least a family. And she, then she'll take me there, leave me there for a weekend to pick me up back the Sunday. Best thing she ever do. But, not with them, the boy cousin that down at Waltham Park Road. I walk out every dance from Waltham, go all the way back
I
from
rem- I rem- I
from
remember.
Purple Love to
Mhm.
so that's why when people say, "Oh, you know them sound," I'm like, "I was there." Like you, yeah. You know Purple Love? Yeah, man. Like, what?
If you remember where the dumpling shop it was, or still is.
Dumpling shop is still there, right there on Waltham Park Road,
Oh yeah, that's
right there.
there was a
It's the
lady
right,
called
it's the right turn after you pass Chisholm Avenue.
East Road. That property belonged to a lady they called Mother White,
Oh,
Mary White. She was my aunt, my father's
wow.
sister.
You
So there's a
see?
lot of history through that area.
Yeah,
I
that
grew up
was
along there.
Party Central.
Oh yes,
All
Winners
right.
and Chin.
Then you know that area well. Then you
Oh
know
yeah.
my church and everything, because you know even
Oh,
where I was born. Because if I tell you where I was born, you might probably laugh. I originally born 2 Leach Road on Chisholm Avenue. I went to church at 54 Chisholm Avenue, Church of God.
I'm going
There
to
you
give you
go.
I'm going to give you a little history off the ear, with, with where you're talking about. But continue.
Yes, used to, well, don't get me wrong, I was born there, but immediately within the first 6 months of my life, them they moved. But the reality is, that's the sides where my cousin them they come from. So when I used to beg for she leave me down there, I used to just get away with murder. But the fun thing is, I
You
had a
remember where Ken Booth was, right? His
all right.
everybody
That's
used
why
to
I go
go.
back to Purple Love,
Oh, yes,
because
man.
when
Uh,
people said to me, say, "How you know these things?" I was like, I grew up around that zone. Anywhere my big cousins are going, they had to take me. They can't leave me in the house. So they had to take me with them. I
mhm.
saw every event known. And I was from Lexus crew to, I've seen every crew come and go. I've
Oh,
seen them
yes.
all come and go. And just to be fair to Walton Park and the garrisons were fun for me. I did not have to live the everyday life of what the people went through, which is why I always tell people there's joy in the people. Don't let the system trick you. You have some nice people in the garrison. You have some people where that's not their thing. It's just, they're just life is lifing, but that's not their thing. And a lot of people don't know. A lot of these people are sometimes 2, 3, 4 generations in, and you can't ask them to just walk away from what they've always known. And it's easy for us to say when you don't, with pride, don't literally belong to a specific yard or so, but some of these people, their great great grands grew up there. So we have to be mindful as to how we view the mentality and the lifestyle of the people in and around the communities. But
So
my
getting a
childhood was fun.
taste of all that, and having now the vision of both ends of the scale or both sides of the river, moving out of, on through Campion, getting that knowledge from your art teacher that um, this is what you need to be focused on. Um,
Yeah, but I
moving
was
from there,
still
you
too
said
deep
you
into
stepped.
econ and law, and that this is where the catch come in, where I'm not even going to act like it wasn't. I'm playing some ball. I'm young. And mama, I repeat down a Woolmars just to keep my age check. this foolishness, this Jamaica foolishness, because when I leave campaign, I would be 15 years old. Can't have a 15-year-old I run around doing zero. So it's either you play some ball, go six farm, which I was dead at, I was against six farm. So end up do a few months outside of Campion, because I didn't even really, just to be fair to Wilmars, it wasn't my thing. Ended up going undergrad, um, and at them time they know I really start turn it up. The airbrushing of t-shirts, the me and my friend them start like a sound systems. No matter everything in the entertainment. Me like a bridging, a school of DJ, me I'll manage him and it start. It start. No, it start. It officially start. And just to be fair to everybody, back and forth. Anywhere in the world I could be, want to be, anywhere I wanted to be. So I had world influence, I had Jamaica influence, I have the Garrison influence, I have society, good society people, I have a culmination of everything around me. So mentally, I'm going cool. We're bright, we're talented, we have a solid set of people around us. But as I learned, the arts is not pen and paper where if you study hard enough, you get it right. That's not how it works. And when you're a teenager, there's an error a lot of us make. I think we've all been there, where we think the way we think is how everybody thinks, and we can't fathom as to why they can't see your point of view, and like what you can't see what I'm saying, what you slow or something. So that that touch of arrogance to that came with it, because I haven't been losing either. So the arrogance is now through the roof, and you're trying to cope. Like what you can't. Yeah, I can get this note right. What, you can't sing this? So this is where now you the gray patches and I the I in the P really starts to kick in, because people say intellectual property. Oh, really? Intellectual is part of really being elasticity. How far can you stretch that elasticity? Are you able to pivot? Do you know when to have manners and when to shut up? Do you have so learning on the fly start right there, right after high school. Basically as up undergrad from you start here. So right there, I start realizing that, all right, I'm talented at a lot of things, but why is this not working? Why this man want to do that, that man want to do that, this man want to do that, this man want. But we're all talented, so why is it lacking some cohesiveness to build the super factory I'm thinking of in my head? Because anything I'm doing now, I've always had it in my head. And that's the one catch I will tell anybody. Um, I've always known from a very early age, as I said, musically, being a ring ding child, being around all of these influences, seeing, doing that, Jamaica is a ball of intellectual property. And as I said before, because my art teacher broke it down, I'm 100% sure we were a ball of talent. So I already had the talent pool in my head, like, oh, we overpouring in talent here. We need to figure this thing out. So, but even though I will say it safely, even that's been a journey, because what I learned in 88, I'm still trying to teach in 98, 2018, 2025. Like, this is real. You can be this from this if we do it this way. And then again, learning the same elements I learned at 16 on to 20 is the same thing I would say now at 48, 49.
So this
Eh, eh,
real world experience, um, now it's coming into focus, and you're moving forward through life, and you're saying, "Hold on a second, This is an overload. How did you channel this moving forward to get into the university as you spoke just now? Um, Give me a walkthrough of that journey.
Well, passing exams to get in school wasn't like, that was never my issue. So my issue was, and now I can say this at 48, 49, breaking a mold that nobody knew what that mold originally looked like. And this is what I mean by saying that when I spoke of my father's side, my dentist was my aunt as a child. my, so I'm around people who already understood they were passionate about certain things. It's only a few years ago I even understood why they processed the way they did. I never thought about it because they're all extremely older than me and they're my aunts, my uncles. I never thought, why are you all so into this part? And it's again, as I said, it's only a few years ago that I clued it all together by talking to them. I go, oh, now it makes sense. My grandfather was the bookkeeper for the community. When they were farming and stocks had to leave and go goods had to, he was the one that kept the docket, kept the ship dockets. When the paperwork came in for the farmers, because he was the one that was, I guess, well read and somewhat educated at the time. He was the one that paid the other farmers their pay stubs. They would just basically give him the goods, but they wouldn't understand paperwork. And my grandfather would get it streamlined for them, get the truck to come pick up them goods back in the days. Them attack like 60s and 50s, may attack, So, you understand what I
So
mean? So,
therefore, we gotta kind of put things into perspective that at that point in time, 50s, 60s, 70s, early 80s, education was not on top of a lot of parents' list.
there you
It
go.
was hard times. You got to go out there and get it. It was more manual labor. So children were expected to go out there in the field, go out there on the road and get things done to make money to keep the family alive, to bring in that bread. So a lot of people were not able to go to basic school, much less, you know, um, primary school, or they would break off at basic school or some of primary school, or whenever they can go, haphazardly, couple days of the week or so on. It was never enough to give them a full education. So when Mr. Vivian Thomas said he got the accolades in terms of education, that's a big deal back then,
Back then, yeah.
because those parents who were able to send their children to school without having to rely on them to hold down the fort, they knew how important it was to get their children to another level. So continue, Mr. Thomas.
I'm going to just reinforce a statement my mother used to make. Every generation push a generation. And I am in total accord with her with that. Now, then every generation push a generation. If I can get, I use this in a subtle way when especially when I'm dealing with young artists and people in entertainment. Brother, it's when you boss, 5 family boss here. The 5? Yes. Not just your family. So people around you, they get the opportunity to grow. A man who couldn't send him you go to school can now send him you go to school. And probably can live the lifestyle that you can live. But that thing when couldn't do, pick up a 200 grand go pay for him you go to school, he can now do it. You probably don't have $500,000 or $1 million to go buy a car, but That 200 grand push that next generation forward. So you now watch that. Just know so when you win, at least 5 family win.
And that was the general consensus, from different levels of society, that
Right.
if you're down here, your brothers and sisters push one up so
Some
that
that,
that one can
that trickle
pull.
down.
Yeah,
That trickle down. So everybody I get the big prize, but the big prize is the next kid might be our next general.
I remember back in the country areas, we're talking southeast St. Elizabeth, southwest Manchester, visiting families in the hills of Clarendon, and parents would go out in the field, hustle to put a little money together to send one to Kingston.
Of
And you have a cousin or a auntie there, them going send you go town if go make life.
yes.
Because they're expecting that you will reach back and pull them out of poverty. Many
Eh,
did not return.
See, if I give you a joke,
Mhm.
you say something where one day I explained something to my oldest daughter, and she was on the ground because she couldn't wrap her head around it. I said, think about this. When Thomas, because she refers to her grandfather as Thomas, she double barrels his last name, her last name. Uh, Dad, so when Thomas was going to school, I said, think about this. When Thomas was going to school, there was no UTech. Just give
That's
that a
right.
thought. There was one university and a bunch of trade universities that either you get apprenticeship with and go work with them in and outside the country to get your papers and such for so you can be a qualified. So give that a thought. Think that before, even in my lifetime, when I was being born, there was only the University of the West Indies. There was no. So when people go, why are you Jamaicans so attached at high school? Please tell us the colleges we had to go, please. We didn't have any. So most of the schools, rural, Kingston, after high school, is you better make it work. You need to figure it
Absolutely.
out.
Oh yeah. hmm
So,
So let's kind of move it forward, because you're kind of giving hints as to what your focus is at this stage in life, and you have left Campion now, and you're out in the
I'm up
world.
by undergrad and I'm all into music. I'm all into music and entertainment. I'm like, I think I've seen the light. Like, hey, why isn't everybody, and it goes back to the point, why isn't everybody thinking that this is real? I have a lady that just made me know I'm only standing here because I am passionate about it. This is a choice. So readily I'm thinking, hey, life is about a choice. If you make the right choices, you can strive. But
So I like to put things into perspective, because we're talking about different eras where you have a young person at 15, 20 watching this show, and they hear you talking, but they can't make that connection.
all right, you
Back,
want me?
back,
Let me.
no, no. Let me just kind of set the stage and let you flow from there. When you're talking about the music and people could not see what you were visioning, we're talking an era where there was electricity was not proliferated around the country of Jamaica yet. It was still lamps being lit, and very few street lights were around at that time. Color television had just come into play. There was no
I come in '84.
computers. Yeah, there was
See,
no computers being,
I'm,
laptops and so on,
I'm
and
on Encyclopedia Britannica.
smartphone.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you got to go to the library. Now,
literally, yes.
the post office was your best friend. There was no text messaging. So you had to wait on a telegram or a letter that took a long time.
And
The telegram was the fastest, or the telegraph. So that the telegraph was a
it,
what
it,
you call
it,
text message today. So that's the era he's talking about.
it
Now
was it was only a few of us that even had a house phone. It
that
was
okay,
selective
and that
people that even had house phone.
exactly. So let's put a little bit, give you a little bit more light here as to what we're talking
All
about.
right.
When it comes to communication, and we just talked about the telegram, telegraph, and the letter, the post office. Now you're talking about the gleaner as being the trusted
There you go.
source
The
of
main source of
gossip,
information at the time.
and at the time, and also Radio Jamaica or Radio Fusion. That you got to listen to radio every day. That was your main source. Then the music
And
was a
and
message and a stepping stone to greater heights. So continue now, Mr. Thomas,
there are
because
two things that you're going to find very interesting, and I'm going to repeat with two gems. Remember, I said to you that my art teacher broke me on publishing, correct? And royalties and
absolutely.
schooled me there. There is one other person that went to Campion that was a famous disc jockey in the 80s. He came and he spoke to me. And he came, this is the next thing, was Jerry D.
Jerry D.
So Jerry D link up a school, and because back then, again, because when I used to say these to my friends, I was like, you guys have that? We had career days even in the 80s. And Jerry D came by. I was like, yeah. I'm like, yo, I know you. You're on the radio. He's like, I didn't know you went to camping. What the heck? Like, yeah. Oh, cool. A proper conversation with Jerry D. And I was like, you know what? Our teacher said this. Jerry D is doing that. You know, this
So
laughing
no, kind
looking.
of. I don't want you to underscore the importance of that conversation. Who
No,
you had it with.
that's why I brought
So
it up so that people understand
no.
that
So
there's a
now we
famous disc jock.
right
Yes, Jerry
no.
D at the
That's where I
time.
want you to go, because a lot of people will hear Jerry D and do not know
No,
who he was and
oh,
the
at the time
icon
in
he was.
Jamaica had like three numero uno disc jocks. You were Barry G, Jerry D, or what's that old guy name that used to do Monty William. Monty. That
Yeah.
them three was like radio. You call them three man the name? They were like columns in radio. And
Absolutely.
Jerry D came by the school one day. Jerry D was like, yeah, uh, I'm a radio disc jock and here. So that's what I mean. I got a early front end view from the actual people that did it. That was kind of dropping not just little small dimes here and there, but like real intricate conversation. Like, hey, work on air, and just to even be fair to even you, Sir George. When the man there tell me about the amount of different equipment back then that was used to run a studio, it's like, yo, whoa, sounds like NASA.
Yeah, exactly. Because
It
I
just sounded
remember I
like
got a tour of RJR and JBC. That's the
back
television
then,
company
right?
JBC. RJR was the radio, and back then when you looked at massive equipment, you said,
It's
"Whoa,
like so.
you're in a spaceship," you know. So continue.
So there you go. So I want to be fair to DJs then and DJs now. DJs then had to have some kind of technical skill. So not only did they have to be fluid in language, literature, and could carry themselves well on paper, that also did that on air and behind the scenes. So now, whereby with respect, the era change and some of the lewd behavior that we see from some of the personalities on air, that we,
Oh
again,
no, that could never happen back
that
then.
would never happen
There
in
was a
the
strict principle and a
growing up.
strict code that they
on
had
radio
to,
or TV in
yeah,
Jamaica. That would never happen. Never happen.
absolutely.
And
It had to be clean.
had to be clean. And again, growing up then, I don't know, I sound like an old fogey, but your manners have impeccable, brother. I'm sorry. You get through
Oh
no
yes,
door with being rude. That door will slam shut on you. I'm sorry.
and
So
stay shut.
yeah, and like both shut. So when one of people think say your talent was just good enough and it walk you through the door even back
Oh
then.
no,
Them that no go so.
it
You have to
doesn't matter
carry
who
some
you
some
are.
some
Mm.
other things with that. Some boxes have a tick where some let me rearticulate. So these intrinsic boxes that aren't spoken about now were savviness, front that those things were actually just as important as having a CXC and the skill when you walked in to get a job back then. It wasn't just, hey, look, I'm qualified. So
No. Mm. And
who
you gotta
cares, man?
the
Would you like an
gatekeepers.
apprenticeship?
No, the
Yeah, I got tough,
gatekeepers
nice.
also took pride in making sure that they get the quality came through that door
There we go.
because it's their names on the line. There
So
you go.
just no, so just to bring everybody forward, again, as I said, between that 16 to 20 now, I've been blessed to speak with the greats, been around the greats, and when I say greats now, we're talking about singers, disc jocks, actually art curators, designers of the era. So I've been blessed. So I'm thinking I'm educated, I'm around the people who taught me the game. But what I also learned is the same thing that, again, I share now. It's only a few percent who even knew from the jump. Like, so in my teenage brain, I'm thinking, why doesn't everyone know this? Now, I want to really go deep and make people understand. 93, I was in New York City when Nas Illmatic came out. I was in Act 3. I was up White Plains Road and I was in Skate Key. I've been everywhere. I was in the jungle over Queens when Rory played Stone Love. Don't play with me. So I've been doing this from I'm a child.
Congratulations. Well done.
I
Good.
tell you.
So I don't want nobody go, oh, what do you mean by that? When I say everywhere, everywhere. So I've seen the best of the best, right? I know who Mad Lion is when half of Jamaica couldn't talk about Mad Lion when I landed back in Jamaica. Like, yo, I just left Mad Lion up a White Plains Road.
Clint,
Yeah, man, and the man them from Staten Island and him have the baddest dance house. And I'm just looking, I'm like, man, who? So yes, I understand the industry I'm speaking about. So again, when I say when I come home sometimes and I go, hey, this is what we need to do, I'm dealing with the same thing Sir George just said. We don't have no internet, you know. We don't have no half of the place don't have phone, you know. If certain man never do certain things, they won't even have mobile phone, you know. I flip Motorola and I come Jamaica and because that wasn't a norm, you know. So I don't want people to think
yeah,
like the traveling of information was a norm. That wasn't how it worked.
that
So
was
even
more of
me
a
coming
privilege.
right, me doing that thing is an extreme privilege. So I don't want people misinterpret this now, you know. Because notice I'm speaking of these places like Cliche, where your favorite rapper and all of these bit. I was with
Exactly.
them. I know what they mean when they say the bodega.
Oh,
My uncle is the owner of Jewels and Diamond that used to be on the corner, Allerton and White Plains by the 2 train station. So I don't need to make this up. I live this.
absolutely.
So there I go for giving away. So when I was trying to explain to my fellow peers as a youth, because again, I'm not even legal to go into some of the clubs. I'm not even 21. So that's my
Hmm.
point. What I'm trying to explain to people. I'm back and forth trying to get everybody, yo, we can do this entertainment thing. Hey, this DJ guy's really making this amount of money. And that was disc jocks back then. So I really knew how much money Clue was making. So I'm trying to tell people that, hey, Rory and them just made this load of money around a jungle. Thing is making this. So you know what? If we put some structure to this, we could do it this way and we can do this. But
So,
I
in
try and
actual fact, what you're saying you're bringing this first world knowledge
I'm bringing the
to
champion knowledge, the first
first
world.
world
So
knowledge.
I'm taking all the game up. So you're 2% that did it. I was fortunate to be with them in Jamaica. And keeping in mind when I tell people again, St. Lucia Avenue, where Jammy's studio is walking from my grandmother's gate beside Balma G Primary. So
Mhm.
I was on to hide. That life is a life I know very well. So that 2% of stardom, when people say, see Shaba, I know Shaba. Used to see him every day at Water. So, so there's that 2% where you get to see all of the greats. So my art teacher is a top designer, one of the best in Jamaica. I'm seeing the greats of the Shabas. I'm uptown with politician people, Pitney. I know HMV and Timmy and the whole of them. I know Delano, them a play up a Renaissance. Rory from Stone Love a play, I will live around it. So I'm so deep. I'm in love with this thing, you know. So this is the part I don't want people misunderstand. My passion was driving half of the activities. Where some people's into G.I. Joe, no, I'm into music. I'm into Beethoven and Shabarangs. How is that possible? So that's the catch. So when people go, I can go from classical music all the way to cutty ranks. Wait there now. Wait there, man. Oh, that I come in. Me know the run there. So trying to tell everybody, yo, this is where I'm at. Let's do this way. It is you trying to sell your dream onto someone else. And again, during that era, there is no internet to say, yo, check what I'm saying. Go Google that. Or, hey, at times, and this one sound crazy, Sir George. I used to search for music contract or foreign for care come show a man to tell him for read. If a man start read first, the first two paragraph and dash it by one day. Me and him almost fight. Me I give to
Mhm.
him with saying, hey, read what them boy there read. See, at least them are, you understand me? Like, yo, trying to get everybody to be on the same page. I'm like, it no matter if I know, you get to know now. Yo, at least them are, nobody
So
was
given that you
still.
you had the aptitude to go through contracts and say, wait, guys, you need to see this. You need to
Remember,
read this and be
remember, say,
aware.
no, me had the A-level law school, you know, so that was the peer. So going to law, that, this is why I
Yeah.
keep saying I'm on the course to becoming this academia. I'm into a econ and law and market. I'm just wrong. But this music thing is my passion. I just didn't know it was passion at that time. I just couldn't figure out why is this thing bringing me over here, and why am I reading a music contract and not a law book? Why am I? So you get where I'm going with this. So I at that time, no, it's in a safe space. I go, oh, that's what they say when I hear people say it chose me. I didn't. I can testify. I never wake up and go, yeah, no, I'm going to end that. No, 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 no. That definitely it chose me. So that's what I mean. I was always trying to put my friends on game. But there are young
So
artists like
let's stick a pin there, Brother Vivian Thomas. And we're gonna have about 10 more minutes in tonight's series. So we're gonna continue on Monday. So you're gonna kind of put things into a nutshell and also, break the the shell now to tell, just tease what your passion is. But after I say this, welcome back to Naram Promotions, the Real Deal Podcast Show. This is PIP Mondays, where we prioritize, inform, and promote. This is Mr. Vivian Thomas, and he's got a library of information which he has not even scratched the dust on the surface yet. Ladies and gentlemen, you where he's going with this, and a lot of those who are paying attention will begin have started hearing what he's actually saying to you. which he'll explain to you along the series. He's passionate in what he does. And in when we began this program, it was along those same lines when I told you it is important that our artists, no matter who they are, protect their work,
Oh my God.
pass on the wealth of their work. But
Well,
you have to educate yourself about how it's done. And there's a lot of people like Mr. Vivian Thomas who have put a lot of information together to impart those knowledge, because we won't be around forever,
we've
but
seen
your
so
work
much.
and your wealth will last generations. So, Mr. Vivian Thomas, in this last 10 minutes of this part one, to continue to shape the direction and mold my audience into where you're going with this.
Again, as I said, it's the passion. You just said it. It's like you liking something. I like art. Art teacher said, "Hey, it carries publishing." You go, okay. So it's a journey. Along the journey of your passion, the things you love, you start to learn. So there's some you love. A lot of black folks tend to do this with my head, and I always use this as the best example. You love making money, right? You love business, right? Yeah. But business has principles, right? That's why when you went to school, they did a thing called principles of business, right? Yeah. Well, don't you think everything kind of carries some principles? Like your Bible carry principles, your business carry principles. What do you think? So it's an easier way for them to understand that, oh, you mean there's some rules to this? Yeah, Papa, there is. Maybe if we play by the rules, bend what we can bend, fix what we can fix, we might come up with some results here. So that's the whole catch. Because when you start to ask, oh, why is this song a hit song and this other song's not a hit? So these were some of the questions that just used to boggle my brain as a teen, a child in music. It's when I actually became an adult, I knew why Bach and Beethoven was great, even though when I was playing them all along. I knew why, but I didn't understand the core, that inner as to the whys. The whys began to answer themselves. I'm trying to get my people to go, hey, we can do this. This is that, da, 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 da. I grew up seeing the great tailors that used to sew for Shabba. And I used to think from then, same thing the art teacher said, yeah, tailor, you're a designer. Man called himself a tailor. So I may not be a tailor. But that was the catch. So now I'm seeing all of this first world knowledge, and I'm like, that is not that. That's not that, and that's not. Can you imagine
I
being
don't
around
want you
when
to fly over that point that you just made. The tailor called himself a tailor, but the fashion that he put
that's what
out
I'm
there,
saying?
he was a designer.
He's a
And because
designer.
he did not understand what a designer meant and the principles of business, how you took it from one level to the next and how you
There you
protect
go.
your work, um, he just was a tailor or a shoemaker.
Uh, this is what
He was a
loving the
designer.
arts. This is what loving the arts drove me, along with quote unquote law and the principles of economics. When I said to a man, say, yeah, you know what's been black people's gift? How we do it? I'm confused. That's one thing I know is magic. And that's why when people say, what's black magic? A man that don't know, say, him why him actually design a whole aesthetic for the next 10 years and did it. He didn't have a
Absolutely.
clue. That whole linen suit look and that whole, what?
Oh, yeah.
He, you ever been to a art gallery and watch the curator go, hey, was it? That's what he did. He just didn't even know it. He
Absolutely.
set the
And today
aesthetic
you
for it.
see that in Hollywood on those sets that they take out
That
these costumes and
that
there
was
the
now you see.
design of
Those
these
were the
costumes.
things.
And no, hold on. When you go to the Grammys and you see certain designs being worn, they're protected. You can't just make them and wear them. You can
Nah.
you can be sued. And
So
what happened back, especially the 70s, 80s coming up, you had some real designers in Jamaica who put together some lovely
w-
works that now they're coming right back around and they revamp them and put them another way, but we still see the patterns of what they made in the foundation or
Sir
fundamental
George,
years.
our man you know have nothing on some of them tailor that way used to make my grandfather suit. Them 3 pieces, him not have nothing on it.
Absolutely. No,
Nothing on
no.
it. Nothing as
A
sharp
lot
like
a
Sir
lot
Tiaga
of
at
a
church.
lot of their work that they say their creative work, the roots are from our people that made them back in the day.
Now I want to help everybody in a nutshell now. This is when early teenager enter into adulthood, real adulthood at 18 to 21 space. Seeing all parts of the world, all manner of fashion, all manner of music. I'm into hip hop. And in Jamaica Carnival keep 1990, couple year right before me leave high school. Jamaica get its first reggae station, IRFM 1992. I will never forget. So these things were like imprinted now in my psyche. So now in my head, keep in mind now, Jerry D just tell me about the radio station couple year before that. IRFM comes about. I'm excited. So all of these
Absolutely.
elements now that start to get added or better yet recognized in my culture, I was excited for a different reason versus what the culture was excited for.
And
I'm looking
and
at
let me drop this in here. It was vinyls and we didn't have CDs. It was cassettes,
it's cassette and vinyl
vinyl.
days.
Right.
And the way now I was starting to look at entertainment, and this is what I had to learn also, and this is where I want everybody kind of work with me a little bit. I am no longer looking at music because once you become trained in music, you do not hear it the same anymore. So let me make that clear to you. I will never, since my age of 7, 8, I will never hear music the way how an untrained ear hears music. So musically, I'm already locked. Here's where it becomes interesting. I love the arts, as I keep repeating. So when I see my favorite artist, the Shaba, and them, and him wear it this way, and him leaning that way, and him put him bracelet or chaparita, and him wear it as an anklet. And again, I'm in the era where travel facts have all the brightest colors, red, blue, and some colors where you can't miss. You're not blind. So
Hmm.
so I'm attracted to. I'm like, whoa, yo, all of this aesthetic. It's for me, a kid in a candy shop that So I'm now drawn to everything, designs, the this, the that. But I didn't realize that that's coming from my art background. And this is where it affected me as I got older. I had to differentiate my academia and my passion for the arts and realizing that, oh, you're a trained brain. You're asking people about a passion that they cannot articulate, dissect, or interact with you about. You're speaking to them about the design and the da and notice they did it that angle and that. They're looking at you like, yeah, you're a weird kid, But that's just it. I was always passionate about what was in front of my face. So that's the whole point. Everybody thought I was no, it was directly in front of my face.
So that passion drove you to what? This
It
is what
start
I want.
I was producing, managing. By the time I was 18, I have a lolly, I have my friends were my primary school friends when me all a manage. Or me fresh out of high school. Literally. Anybody who loved it, come see me.
Hmm.
And if you love me, come see me.
Call some names.
Um, them time the lolly a par with baby sham them when them a got Calabar. Them
Hmm.
time the literally Jazzy T and me used to in the same class up at UWI. There we go. No people I wonder like, yeah man, Tariq, Jazzy T from Renaissance, I'm a dopes. You see in the same class with me. So some of the man them where they love it, those are the people who I share things in common with. One of my closest friend from high school till now, him name Sean Myrie. And most people, my God, that name that sound familiar. You know, UIM was a sound that we have at high school. It wasn't a production crew now till it got there where you see the Andrew Blacks now and the Bagger Cartels and the Junior Gang Grammy and that was a sound that we started in high school. So that's just that's why I'm saying whenever you want to call too much name because then people might go, are you kidding me? Yes, that's not a secret. UIM, Uptempo International Music, that you now know the famous Andrew Blacks and all of these cartels. The founder is his brother. Andrew Black's current name is Andrew Myrie. His brother is Sean Myrie, the founder and starter. And used to play the sound because it was a sound system. And used to play,
Okay. Hmm.
right.
Yeah.
Keely Keys were just the Romy and Virgo album EP. Keely was also one of the first selectors too when Keely started. And Keely's a champion man too. So some of them hit makers I wanna say silently, the beginning wasn't what you see now. So I wanna be fair to them. That's why I never want to use the part that make people go, wait, nah man, a bunch of uptown they pay dues uptown if you get where I come from. That
So
was unheard of region for I get all suspended for Super D cassettes and so. So I also tell people, some of we take the name of the beating in the name of which is a normal day for Uno now, you know. I make this clear to Uno too, you know. Because I know I go off on a tangent, but I make this clear to who don't get this. I came off a plane in 1989 straight from Canada with a Kid and Play and a Super D cassette and got suspended. Argument done.
yes, brother Vivian, it was absolutely interesting, and we got a lot more to go.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, tonight the time is against us.
brother,
However,
anytime you're ready,
no,
there's a
every Monday,
there's a wealth there. We can
every
pad it
Monday.
out and educate them and enlighten them. A PIP Monday, you know.
Oh yes.
And
So
then most people might wonder, so the badger ain't real, man. See, there's all pusher youth. It's always been,
so
we always
tell
been
me about
championing.
in the last seconds here. Tell me about Pusha Youth. That's your brand.
Um, well, I was also an A&R. I was an A&R for a company in Germany and Switzerland called Star Search Media and Dancing City a few decades ago. I wanted to pitch exactly the same ideology that I was pitching to my friends back then. Like, hey, this whole thing, it's a collective, it can work. Because I said I had friends that were, I used to airbrush, make music. My friend was airbrush, he might play piano, the one that play drum. So what a bunch of talent around us. Try sell this pusher youth thing to a company like, hey, I have this vision of, a bunch of IP people and what create like incubators, vectors. Before this whole, again, with respect, before the Silicon Valley made people realize that incubators were a real word. We were we were using it for a minute now, saying, hey, once we can train the youth, them show them say, hey, even if you don't become a DJ, a singer, you might be an engineer. Who to tell? You might be the next techie, but if we don't kind of give them the experiences, put them in the fold, we can't sift or dissect or curate. And what happens is a lot of the era where we're from, you never pass the studio gate. So really, you don't even know if you could be a technician. So I'm saying there are a lot of people in Jamaica that IP through the roof. So I was trying to sell that to labels, but I had to use the music as an entryway. And they were saying, here what? I don't think you're a producer. I took it as an insult at first, but I understood. He said to me, you're actually an A&R. You have a good ear, a good eye, and a good understanding of what you want the project to look like, what you want things to develop in so years. I was like, that's interesting. So I put together Pusher You with the intention to do exactly that. If you are a great writer, come on board. If you're a great poet, come on board. You're good at shooting videos, movies, come on board. Let's because whether you're making music goes in soundtracks. Whether you're making vids, hey, you probably could be the next Spike Lee. If you're well, we won't know.
Okay, so let's hold it there until next Monday when you take it from right at this point forward. And we say thank you to Mr. VIVIAN Thomas. It's a big deal. First time here on NARAM Promotions, the Real Deal Podcast Show. We say thank you so much.
We have a lot
more to go. Oh yes. So let's for today's show, your closing arguments.
Jamaicans and my diaspora and everybody affiliated, if you know the wealth of talent that we have accessible within arts, culture, and entertainment as a people, I think if we really knew, I think some of us would just behave ourselves and approach things with a whole different perspective. Don't stop pricing us, value us. When I say us, I mean us, the people. We need to value each other. It will stop all of them derogatory things where I say from killing, raping, everything. It starts with valuing us. So if you know how rich you are in so many other departments, I think you will really start putting some value on your people them around you.
Absolutely. Wonderful, Sir VIVIAN. Well said. I couldn't have said it better. And you said the phrase, stop pricing yourselves or your work. Value it. Jamaica is a brand. It's a lifestyle. The people are the value. You are the value.
Bro, Balenciaga put out Crocus bag right now. I'm not say nothing more. I don't want to even own my mouth.
And for those who understand what he just said, put it in the comment section. If you understand what Sir VIVIAN Thomas just said, put it in the comment section. Thank you so much, Sir VIVIAN Thomas. And we're going to be talking prior to the next show on Monday. So we say God bless. All is pray going out, pray coming in. And remember, God is in control. You have a message and the people need it. And I'm doing all we can to open these lands so we can work together over the long term. Thank you so much. It is a pleasure meeting you, and it's also going to be a pleasure working with you.
Right here, my brother. I appreciate it. Appreciate the show. Appreciate the fans. I appreciate your time here, Sir John. Appreciate it.
Blessings, my brother. Blessings. Thank you so much. That was Sir VIVIAN Thomas. I say God bless every time. Sir VIVIAN Thomas, a man with a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of education, and he's ready to impart that with you. If you want to go back and watch this show from beginning, get yourself up to speed because he's going to go high speed on you. And you don't want to miss what he's saying or misunderstand or misoverstand what he's saying. He's laying out the foundations and opening your eyes to the reality of this life. why we should not fight amongst each other, but unite with one another to build a stronger Jamaica, a stronger brand, an invaluable brand. There's no value to there's no price to this. If we work together, ladies and gentlemen, put aside our differences and see the picture, that the bigger picture ahead of us. Many countries and nations are coming in to grab what we have. And if you stay in your phones and distracted, you'll find yourself on the outside of your birthright. Realize that we're not going to be here forever, but the message we're sending you and your children is to put a value to it. Put a value to it. Understand yourselves. This is RAMP Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to, and I say thank you for being here. We're going to move into a few other items tonight, and we're going to take the show down in about 20 minutes. I hope you learned something and be back on Monday. PIP Mondaze for Mr. VIVIAN Thomas. It's a series because he's going to bridge the gap between then and right now and where we're going. Stay tuned. Like, share, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell. Also, donate to the show. Donate to the show, ladies and gentlemen. This is a big deal. So, as we move forward, ladies and gentlemen, this is RAMP Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show, and we say this is PIP Mondaze. So, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're gonna say there's a warning going out to my fellow Jamaicans. This is a big deal. There's a warning going out regarding guns in Jamaica. A big, big warning. And I want to highlight that again for my people to understand that this is not the time to take your eyes off what's going on and the bigger picture. Anything that looks like a gun, whether it be a toy, a water pistol, anything that looks like a gun in Jamaica can fetch you 15 years in jail. Let me repeat that. Anything that looks like a gun can fetch you 15 years in jail. And that's no joke. This is something that is controversial and has been rolled out in Jamaica already. So I'd urge you to, if you have your children with water pistols and all that good stuff, get rid of them. This is not the time for fubble doubles and to play naive as if you didn't know, because ignorance of the law is no excuse, ladies and gentlemen. So let me highlight that for you right now.
Is 15 years. And if you choose to resist and vehemently explain why you're in possession of this firearm, imitation firearm, and the police think that you are resisting, the minimum is 20 years. A see-through water gun.
Oh, even a see-through water gun?
Is an imitation firearm.
Okay.
Imagine being sent to prison for 15 years over a water gun. Sounds crazy, right? But that's the reality under Jamaica's updated Firearms, Prohibition, Restriction, and Regulation Act. The law now states that anything resembling a firearm, even a toy, prop, or water gun, can be treated as a prohibited weapon. And if you're found guilty, the punishment is a mandatory minimum of 15 years in prison, no exceptions. Critics say this new rule goes way too far, blurring the line between actual criminals and innocent people caught up in harmless fun. Imagine a child's birthday party or a school play where a fake firearm is used. Under this law, that could technically lead to jail time. Lawyers and human rights advocates are calling for urgent reform, saying judges should at least have the power to use discretion instead of handing out automatic sentences. What do you think? Is this law a necessary step to curb gun violence? Or is it punishing the wrong people? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if this surprised you, share this video so more Jamaicans can join the discussion.
Please share it, like, share, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell. Spread the word, ladies and gentlemen, because I'd hate to know that one of our peers just walked into something like this because they had a toy pistol for their child, or had a birthday party, a water party, and they use water pistols. It's not going to fly, ladies and gentlemen. So like, share, subscribe, comment, spread the word. So therefore, we're going to cut a few things out because we're minutes away from closing. So I wanted to touch on some immigration information for those who are in the diaspora, and also those who need to know, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. So there's some new rules for green card holders, and we need to put that on the screen right now. So I'm going to share that with you, and then I'm going to move through quickly so that we can get through the rest of the show and prepare for the next one. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let me bring that up to you. New rules. Here, let's go.
5 new trends that will be impacting green card holders in 2025 and moving forward. This is going to be trends about DUI, speeding tickets, paying taxes, and travel internationally. All the information, all the trends in this video. Hello everybody, and welcome back to Immigration Channel. In this video, we'll cover 5 new trends that are impacting green card holders right now in 2025 and moving forward when it comes to many things like DUI, speeding tickets, travel, paying taxes, speaking against the government. I want to cover all these in this video, so make sure you watch it all the way until the end. Super important, especially if you're a green card holder or about to become a green card holder or thinking about getting a green card. This information is crucial. It's changing all the time, and I'm trying to give you the most up-to-date information at the time of watching this video. As of October.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get that information, you've got to watch the show. I'm going to touch that first on Thursday. That's Thursday Night Live. That's a live call-in show. I'm going to touch into that deeply on Thursday, because this is a big deal, because now there's a lot of stuff that you need to know as a green card holder that can change your life here in the United States, or dictate what kind of future you're going to have moving forward. So also, fraud has been found up and down the immigration system here in the United States at very high levels, and they've now put a focus on it. And when I say a focus, a big one, ladies and gentlemen. So this is no joke. Let's look into that real quick as we try to figure out what is going on here. So let's bring that to the stage right away. Let's share that on our screen. I'll get this up in a second. And this is a big deal. So not only just new rules, but there are hold on a second, let me get that off, and let's bring on here the fraud that's been bogging down the system here in the United States, and this is something that you need to know. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's bring that to the screen and touch into that and move forward. Here we go.
U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services joining forces with the FBI and ICE to conduct Operation Twin Shield, a no-nonsense crackdown on immigration fraud in Minnesota's Twin Cities.
In just 9 days, the agencies reviewed over 1,000 cases, uncovering 275 suspected fraud cases, referring 42 to ICE officers and making 4 arrests. And according to our next guest, this is just the beginning. The agency's director, Joseph Edlow, joins us now. And I was looking at this, Joseph, that you had sham marriages, a fake death certificate, 275 cases had red flags. And this is just one city that's being analyzed in the United States.
So if you want to hear more about that, ladies and gentlemen, you got to listen to the show on Thursday. It's a big deal. They're cracking down and they're searching. Remember, you remember that podcast I told you they're looking at over 55 million visas. They're scrutinizing these visas. It's going on right now, ladies and gentlemen. So don't get it twisted. They're looking, and they're going back and they're going deep. And what has happened, why you know this is happening, is because the FBI they have now put a lot more FBI agents on the trail to find fraud and so on in the immigration system, and to remove a lot more people from the United States. They are aware of what is going on right now in the system. They're aware of what has happened in the past, and they're trying to clean the system of that. So let's listen to this.
CBS News has confirmed that thousands of FBI agents, usually tasked with combating domestic terrorism and other national security threats, have been reassigned to immigration enforcement. CBS News immigration reporter Camila Montoya Galvez joins us now with what he has learned. So, Camilla, what do we know about what these agents are doing?
Well, John, the FBI typically has about 13,000 agents across the country, and we understand that according to this federal data, about 3,000 of them are now devoted to immigration enforcement. That involves going with ICE and Border Patrol officials on operations across the country to find, identify, and ultimately arrest people who are suspected of being in the country illegally. But the data, in some ways, John, understates the degree to which the FBI has been assigned to help the president's sweeping mass deportation agenda, because that 3,000 agent number only accounts for agents who are spending over 50% of their time on immigration. And so
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to hear a lot more about this, Thursday is your day. This is a big deal. So not only that, I'm going to tell you this. There's some things that you should not do. And I'm going to ask attorney Brad Bernstein to explain that to you. So we're going to bring him on the screen right now so that he can share some things that you should not do. So let's bring him on the screen right now so you can hear from attorney Brad Bernstein what you should not do.
Don't be waiting around for a new president hoping the laws are going to get easier. They may not. In fact, it may get tougher over the next few years. So tough, in fact, it may affect you in ways you can't even imagine at the moment. So you take action now. The stress of waiting is worse than acting responsibly. If you qualify for an immigration benefit, if you qualify for naturalization, you'll get it. When you file with immigration, as long as you qualify, and you have to make sure you qualify with a good attorney, you should get your immigration benefits, and you will definitely get peace of mind. So don't gamble with the future, sticking your head in the sand, hoping things will get better. Act now.
And you heard it from attorney Brad Bernstein. Act now, ladies and gentlemen, not later, because this is getting serious and it's going to get a lot worse. So you whatever you need to do, you do it now. So therefore, you should also know your rights when you come to the border, whether you're a citizen, a green card holder, or just a visitor. You need to know what your rights are. And let me share that with you, because attorney Brad Bernstein is going to explain that to you again. So know your rights when you come to the border. Here we go. Let's bring that up.
If Customs and Border Patrol demands your password for your laptop or your cell phone, depending on your legal status, you have choices. U.S. citizens don't have to give their password. You'll be delayed. You'll be asked a lot more questions. Maybe you would be subject to further investigation in the future, but you'll be allowed into the United States. The same goes for lawful permanent residents. Customs and Border Patrol can't deport you at the airport. You have the right to see an immigration judge. So you don't have to give your passwords. Eventually, they'll have to let you into the United States, and you'll see an immigration judge and fight out your case. For non-U.S. citizens, the choice is much harder. If you're coming here on a tourist visa, student visa, and you refuse to give your passwords, they're just going to deport you home.
You heard it there from Attorney Brad Bernstein. And just know your rights, know what to do, and know what not to do. But also, U.S. citizens can be stopped and searched. You know what I mean? It is now. This is a reality now. So just be aware of that. So let me kind of give you a synopsis of this with Attorney Brad Bernstein again. So let's get him on the screen here and get that rolling.
U.S. citizens can have their phones searched at the border or at an international airport. Immigration does not need a warrant to do it. They don't even need probable cause. You can just look at them the wrong way, smile the wrong way. Immigration officer can ask to unlock your phone, go through your messages, your photos, your call logs, anything stored locally on your phone. They can look at your bank statements. But here's what they can't do. They can't access your cloud services, and they can't deny your entry into the United States.
If you want to hear more about that, come Thursday, ladies and gentlemen, you will hear a lot more. So let's remove that from the screen, and let's move into some community events. So we're going to go into community events, and then we're going to close the show after that. So thank you for being here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into some community events, and then we're going to close the show. So here we go. So it's that time. Did you know tonight there's Crazy Mondays? Crazy Mondays is going on right now. And you got to check it out at Mel's Bar in New Forest District in Manchester. That is going on right now, ladies and gentlemen. Crazy Mondays. Just check it out. Every Monday you have Crazy Mondays, right? Mel's Bar at Ian's Lawn in New Forest District in Manchester, Jamaica. Check it out at Mel's Bar. It's a blast. You know what I mean? So also we have Xander. Xander has his Earth Strong on the 15th of October. That's a big deal in Prospect District in Manchester. You have DJ Splendid, DJ Clive, DJ Junior, and Xander International Sound. It's going to be a big deal. That's Father Xander's Earth Strong. Big up yourself. I'm telling you. Also, we have the Game of Love. Game of Love at Blake's Complex, ladies and gentlemen. Blake's Complex comes alive on, let's see, that will be October 25th at Blake's Complex in Downs District in Manchester. The Game of Love is a hilarious play. Get your tickets. I've been told the tickets are selling out. So go and get your tickets, ladies and gentlemen. The Game of Love, it's a big deal. Check them out. Also, the Jerkot will be having Stush with Bambino. DJ Bambino has not been in Florida for a while. And my cousin that owns a Jerk Hut will be having Kirkisy, DJ Kirkisy, as the DJ, and DJ Bambino. If you want to see them in Tampa, Florida, it's going to be on the 25th. And remember, Jerk Hut is now a lifestyle. It gives you the Jamaican culture in style. And I'm telling you, it's a big, big deal. So check them out. On the 25th of October, it's going to be the biggest, loudest party in South Florida for a very long time, ladies and gentlemen. Check them out at the Jerk Hut, DJ Kirkisy, Bambino, and this is called Stush, the lifestyle. I'm telling you, what a beautiful thing. And staying with the Jerk Hut, Andrew, my cousin, has his birthday on November 1st. So you got to be there for his birthday party on the 1st of November. And November starts the era of the anniversary of Jerkut. So Jerkut will be celebrating its anniversary throughout the entire month of November, and it starts with his birthday party on the 1st of November. Also, on the 1st of November, we got Sir Billings in Prospect District. He has his birthday party going on at the Top Rock Bar and Grill. You get what I'm saying? So we got Mr. Billings' birthday party, and let me get that poster up for you. I'm going to get it for you right now. But Sir Billings has his big birthday party at the Top Rock Bar and Grill in Prospect District. It's going to be loud. A big, big deal, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to get that poster for you to see it. But all road leads there in South Central Jamaica for Billings Earth Strong. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a big deal. So, this is it. That's the poster for November 1st. So, ladies and gentlemen, check out Sir Billings November 1st, all right? He's going to be a big, big deal. And we also have on November 9th. November 9th in Montreal, Canada. Montreal, Canada is going to be overloaded at the Caribbean Food Factory, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a big, big deal. Where you have a Candy, Professor Nuts, Thriller U, Original Thriller, Highly Dread, Jack Cutter, Errol Dunkley, Melody, and Shalom. It's a big deal. Right there at the Caribbean Food Factory in Montreal, Canada. It's 5311 Bold de Maisonneuve, Ontario. Well, not Ontario, but Montreal in Quebec. Goodness gracious me. It's going to be a big, big deal. And remember, Crazy Mondays is going on right now. Check it out. So, we have Misha's Right Vibes 5th edition is going to be happening on November 20th. This is a big deal in Sea Ear District in Manchester. Big up to Misha. And the Right Spot, Misha's Right Spot is also on Google Maps. Type in Misha's Right Spot and you'll get it on Google Maps. It will take you right there in Sear District in Manchester, and you have the Uptown Movements, a big deal. This is the Right Vibes 5th edition, November 20th in Sear District in Manchester. It's a big, big deal, ladies and gentlemen. So big up to Misha every time. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mumasketel. That's a big deal. Mumasketel has her Ambition Overhype annual party at Time Is Now Car Wash in Prospect District in Manchester, and this is a big deal on December 6th, 2025. Big up to Mumasketel. This you have TikTok sound system, the mobile sound system, and DJ Splendid. That's a big, big deal. I'm telling you, it's off the chain. We also have Randy and Otis. Boxing Day. Yeah. Randy and Otis Boxing Day event is gonna be, let me see. Are you ready? Here we go. December 26th, Manga Tree Bar, Turnip, Manchester. Randy and Otis will be having their big, big deal. You remember the Rum for Tea crew? Yeah, Rum Unlimited. So, on the 26th also, ladies and gentlemen, we have a big deal in Stets. St. Elizabeth Technical High School will be bringing to you World Cup Cricket 2025. It's going to be a big deal. St. Elizabeth Technical is going to give you a Cricket World Cup at Stets in St. Elizabeth. That's a big, big deal. That's Friday, December 26th. Do not miss it. Cricket World Cup is going to be at Stets in South Central Jamaica. It's amazing. I'm sure Bowls Oval will be staging a game or two. So Sir Balls will be getting back to you. So, ladies and gentlemen, also, one of the biggest parties for the year to close out the year is going to be in Sea District in Manchester on Boxing Day. Can you guess which one it is? That's going to be the biggest show in South Central Jamaica for 2025. The biggest party. This is where yard meets broad. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a big, big deal. This is Chetty and the Ashady family will be staging, they call it Cash Code. Goodness gracious me. Cash Code is set to be the biggest party in South Central Jamaica for 2025. So you don't want to miss this. It's at Mountain View Chill Spot in Sea District in Manchester. The Cash Code, you'll have our family Shine Skull Mobile Movements, MC Marshall, and also Sean and DJ Junior. It's gonna be loaded. It's yard meet abroad. It's gonna be a big deal, ladies and gentlemen. Also, if you're in South Central Jamaica, just remember, there's a few places you gotta visit. And we're talking about Bowls Oval. Yeah. And Sir Billings Place, Top Rock. We're talking about Meech's Hot Right Spot. And we're talking about also the Mystic Inn in Sea District in Manchester. And do remember, the Mystic Inn, you can find it on Google Maps also. It's a big deal. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of NARAM Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. We say, God bless you all. And we really appreciate you. So like, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell. Always remember to pray going out and also pray coming in. And also remember, God is in control. We'll see you again on Thursday Night Live. And that's a live call-in show. So like, share, subscribe, comment, and click that notification bell. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here. And we say we'll see you at the next show. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. NARAM Promotions is at you.